The one call. The sun had barely crested the tree line as Major General Malcolm Reese drove down Highway 180 in rural Georgia, a road he had traveled countless times. He knew the contours of the landscape: faded barns, rusting mailboxes, sleepy gas stations with a single pump. And he knew exactly where the GPS usually dropped signal. As expected, just past mile marker 67, his screen froze. A gravel turnout sat a few hundred feet ahead, shaded by a large oak and flanked by an old, leaning sign that read, "Welcome to Elkhorn." Reese eased his government-issued SUV onto the turnout and put in park. He pulled out his encrypted military-grade phone, attempting to reset the satellite connection. The process took seconds during which everything changed. Behind him, the distinct crunch of gravel under tires broke the morning stillness. Reese glanced in the rearview mirror. A sheriff's cruiser had pulled up. Red and blue lights spun, but no sirens. A tall figure stepped out. Blonde hair pulled back into a tight bun. Aviator sunglasses, hand on holster. Deputy Amanda Collins didn't introduce herself. Didn't ask for license and registration. Instead, she rapped twice on his window, sharp and abrupt. Top! Tap! Reese lowered it halfway, meeting her unreadable eyes. "Good morning, officer," he said evenly. "What are you doing out here?" Her voice carried suspicion more than inquiry. "Just pulled over to check my GPS," he replied, calm as ever. She didn't nod, didn't relax. Instead, she peered past him into the vehicle's interior. "Where are you headed?" "Correcting my route, ma'am." Her name tag read Collins. She stepped back slightly, then, without warning, unlatched the strap on her holster. "I'm going to need you to step out of the vehicle," she said. "For checking my GPS?" Reese asked, voice low but steady. "You're on private property," she snapped. "This area's had issues with illegal dumping. You fit the profile." Reese took a slow breath. He'd stood through ambushes in Iraq, briefings at the Pentagon, and diplomatic standoffs in Bosnia. But none of those prepared him for the condescension in her tone. "I'll step out," he said, "but just so we're clear, I've done nothing wrong." "You're being uncooperative," she fired back. Reese arched a brow. "I've followed every instruction you've given." "Hands on the trunk." He hesitated. "Ma'am, I'm a federal officer. My identification is in the center console. Please let me retrieve it." "I said hands on the trunk," she barked. Without waiting, she reached out, gripped his arm, twisted, and slammed his palm down onto the warm metal surface. Reese winced slightly but didn't resist. Across the highway, a woman in a silver sedan rolled down her window, phone in hand. A teenager in the back seat already had his camera app recording. The silence around them shifted. This wasn't just an incident. It was a moment. People were watching, waiting. "I respectfully request you call your supervisor," Reese said firmly, "or allow me to retrieve my identification." "You don't make requests right now," Collins snapped. "You wait. I'm Major General Malcolm Reese, United States Army. My ID is in a black briefcase inside the vehicle." She scoffed. "You expect me to believe that? You don't have to believe it. Just check." But she didn't. Instead, she turned and muttered into her radio, "Suspicious male. Possibly armed." "I'm not carrying a weapon," Reese said flatly. "You people usually are," she muttered under her breath. Reese blinked slowly. "You people." The weight of those two words lingered. The teenager's camera zoomed in on the back seat. There, folded with military precision, lay a dark jacket with 3 silver stars gleaming on the collar. "Dad," the teen whispered. "He's Army. Look at his jacket." Another cruiser rolled up. This one belonged to Deputy Samuel Ortega, a veteran officer with a gray-flecked beard and a slow, thoughtful gait. He approached, glanced at Collins, then at Reese. "Sir, may I ask your name?" Ortega said. "Major General Malcolm Reese, U.S. Army." Ortega's eyebrows rose. "Did she see your ID?" "I told her where it was." "She refused to look." Ortega turned to Collins. "Did you check the ID he offered?" "I didn't think it was real," she muttered. Without a word, Ortega stepped aside and made a call. 10 minutes later, 3 unmarked black SUVs rolled up. Men in dark uniforms exited, moving with the unmistakable precision of high-level military protocol. From the lead vehicle emerged Colonel Derek Gaines, a decorated officer and Reese's longtime colleague. He walked past Collins without a glance, opened the back door of Reese's SUV himself. "Sir," he said, voice low, "are you all right?" "Physically, yes. Just embarrassed," Reese replied. Gaines turned to Ortega. "Who's in charge here?" Deputy Collins initiated the stop. Gaines faced her. "Do you know who this man is?" She squared her shoulders. "He didn't provide proper ID." Gaines didn't flinch. "You cuffed a 3-star general after he told you who he was. After he offered you his credentials." Collins' face went pale. Moments later, Sheriff Wallace Durham pulled in. The scene had clearly been relayed to him. He looked around, then growled. "Someone want to tell me why I'm standing in the middle of a national security nightmare?" Collins began to explain. His vehicle was on private land. "I was following protocol." "Did you run his plates?" the sheriff asked. "No." "Did you check his ID?" "I didn't think it was authentic." "That's the problem." The sheriff cut her off. "You didn't think. You profiled Tracy. And the man you profiled has more authority than you'll hold in your entire career." She opened her mouth. He raised a hand. "This conversation is over. Get back in your cruiser." 2 hours later, the body cam footage and bystander video were already viral. News stations ran the headline, "3-star general detained by rookie deputy." By morning, it had 20 million views. Protests formed outside the county office. Reporters dug up Collins' disciplinary record, 3 prior complaints of racial profiling, all previously dismissed. By the end of the week, Collins was terminated. The sheriff's office released a sterile, cold statement. But the damage was done. General Reese never went on national television. He didn't hold a press conference or threaten a lawsuit. He didn't need to. At a veterans forum a month later, he took the podium quietly. And in a room of former soldiers and officers, he said, "When you're wronged, everything in you wants to hit back. But real power isn't in the punch, it's in the choice not to throw it. Strength isn't proven in noise. It's proven in silence, when restraint speaks louder than rage." There was no applause at first, just a stillness. Then, the entire room rose in unison. Because some lessons don't need shouting, they just need to be seen. And this time, the whole world was watching.